Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. So, after we finished the wide open playing field of Libra Navamsha, we come to the narrow constriction point called the Scorpio Navamsha. Now, this scares the crap out of everyone. Scorpio, the one which stings, one where transformation takes place. And if you have planets and points here in Scorpio Navamsha, get ready for a rocket ride of your life. Why? Because this Navamsha always changes the rules. Whatever planet point is placed here, that will change the rules regarding that. Mercury, you will find your intellect changing, your siblings changing. You might even cut off relationships with whatever planet is placed here. Saturn here may be, for example, you'll have severing relationship with your colleagues through life. Venus here is the tough one. You'll get cut off from your spouse. Sun, father, moon, mother. You do the math, you apply the karakas. But this planet or whatever is placed in your Scorpio Navamsha will make you change rules. You will find out things about that, whatever planet is sitting. That's the core of transformation of Scorpio. Whatever worst you imagine will happen regarding that planet sitting in Scorpio Navamsha will happen for sure through life. The reason being, this is where you have to leave things to move forward. Scorpio is Mars and Ketu, isn't it? Mars holds life, Ketu gets rid of it, because Ketu belongs to the spirit world. So it is two contradictory things sitting in one sign, Mars and Ketu. It stands for your lowermost chakra. It stands for your root. It stands for what must leave. Like when you go in the morning to use the bathroom, some things must leave, but some things must be held, isn't it? That is Scorpio. There are actually no limits in this Navamsha. You have to leave everything. Regarding that planet point signification, okay? Will be subjected to harsh conditions for that planet. Again, think for the planet placed in Scorpio Navamsha. I'm just giving the generic rules here. Then we'll get into specifics. The person will have to survive on their own. Nobody will come to help in this particular Navamsha. It is you, and you have the tools for it. That's why it is giving you Scorpio Navamsha. You just have to uncover those tools. They will develop themselves throughout the period of time. The planets placed here are the biggest troublemakers of your life. Saturn may be your colleagues. Sun may be your boss or your father. Moon may be your mum or the people of your land. That planet is going to make you cry. There's going to be one of the biggest fears regarding that planet placed in Scorpio Navamsha, and it will come true. So whatever goes in Scorpio Navamsha means you are using this excessively, has a tendency to break boundaries. As much as Libra was an open boundary, Scorpio is a very restricted boundary which it wants to pierce. That's why it seems that sting, scorpionic sting. Scorpio Navamsha represents the loss of position. Scorpio Navamsha is a gateway to go outside the foundations of what you have set. It destroys your older past so that eventually something new can come in its place. That's the heart of transformation. Transformation doesn't mean something is left because of some other bad thing. That's such a narrow perspective. Something new will always replace in this creation. Okay? Creation does not have vacuum. Nothing happens in vacuum. If something leaves, something else has to come. But the leaving part is difficult for us human beings because we tend to get attached to people, places, whatever. So think in a manner that whatever happened in the past was for good. Give gratitude. Let it go. Let people go. This signification. If it's Mercury in Scorpio Navamsha, you will lose contact with your siblings. Let them go. Bless them. You should leave it with grace. This is one thing we human beings have to learn, isn't it? Leaving things with grace rather than kicking and screaming like a child, really. Look beyond what's written. That is the Scorpio Navamsha. It is a house of research. If Saturn is placed here, you better start doing research-related careers, anything. Use the nakshatra even if you want. It has continuous fears of something bad will happen, but once it happens, it goes away. That's the good news. It will not keep happening. You have to let it go once, sharply. So whichever planet goes in Scorpio Navamsha, You have fears about it. You will think something bad will happen, and it will happen. And then later you get higher knowledge about what happened. Things will get better. A person does not like to answer even if he is truthful here. Will get blamed without any reason. Let's see some briefly points and planets. Saturn in Scorpio Navamsha, they will go to a wrong job many times. 2 to 3 days they will go to a job and they'll later abscond from it. So it will make you change your job. Saturn in Scorpio Navamsha is only good for research of any kind. Mercury, relationship with fifth siblings dies with age. Intelligence should be used for research, investigation, because Mercury is intelligence. Then it's beneficial. The mind in Scorpio Navamsha in Mercury tends to discover or be interested in uncovering hidden, meaning Scorpio is everything hidden. It's a dark place, it's underground, it's the still waters. So they want to know the hidden knowledge behind anything. But they are very traditional when it comes to arrangement of marriage and partnerships. Mars here will change or lose vehicles, property, siblings. You will do mistakes, you will make wrong friends, ditched by friends because you are trying new company. But you will have old traditional vehicles kind of, because Mars is vehicles. Scorpio loves tradition, okay, in general. Rahu here will have letting go of all obsessions relating to houses and karaka, especially aspects and planets and dispository. You got to see the whole shebang, okay. Ketu here is only good for research into occult and mysticism, astrology, like what I'm doing here, okay. Moon can become very, very harsh on the individual. Moon in Scorpio Navamsha gives a chaotic emotional body, does not know how to handle emotions, will not get care, nurturing, especially from mother. It breaks relationship with mother. Very sad. But there is a greater meaning which they have to discover, why they have born with such things. Your life will be about changing homes, birthplaces, traveling to new places several times in life, because Moon is a karaka of change. Moon with Mars, the person thinks a very aggressive way. In Rahu, person will get hallucinations. Unstable brain. Rahu keeps changing things a lot, becomes even more harsh if there are malefic aspects. Venus here has spouse who has fear relating to money. Learning how to handle money, spouses, relationship outside of marriage. You'll have several of them till you break that pattern. Scorpio makes you break patterns because it wants to start something new with new rules and principles for yourself. With Mercury, it means you're doing things like online chatting. Will go outside marriage tradition. Venus in Scorpio in Navamsha. Relationships will cause transformation. Spouse will be very traditional. Steps outside of boundary, gives love to other people, but other people will never respond in kind. They hide their money, being secretive about marriage. Outside normal boundaries, Scorpio is everything outside the normative principles of society. Scorpio hates anything mainstream. Because there is Ketu there, the Lord is Ketu. Ketu hates mainstream. Jupiter, knowledge learned in initial phase will die out. New knowledge must be learned. Will change teachers, gurus, ways of learning later in life. They will be also good in research fields, doctorates in any research field. Sun here does not care about his own image in the world because Sun has gone underground now in the dark place. What people think, I don't care. What people will say about me, I don't care. That's the attitude of Sun in Scorpio in Navamsha. He's not afraid of what people will tell about his image. There's a lot of fear about what will happen to his name. He'll get a lot of bad name and then he will learn to grow out of relying on people's opinion, because that is as fickle as anything else. People can put you up, put you down the next day, isn't it? Has the habit to make rules which is not acceptable to society. This is going beyond the normative boundaries of Sun. Sun is an ethical compass. Scorpio will change that. The person will get position, but he will not know how to handle that position. So eventually fall from the position due to disgrace. What happens afterwards? You rise up. You stop caring about that. Relationship with father may be gone after a certain age. Better to do some kind of research for government organizations. Your father might be very traditional. Like I said, a Scorpio father is very, very traditional. Harsh authority. Scorpio is a sign of harshness. Father figures will create transformation of self. Father may be isolated in old age. These are generics. Now let's see some specifics and listen into the rest of the podcast.
Navamsha, as internal self, after 30 years maturity, after marriage. The Scorpio Navamsha. Before we enter Scorpio Navamsha, I want you to slow down with me for a moment, because this is not a light Navamsha. This is not casual. This is where the soul stops negotiating with comfort and starts negotiating with truth. Navamsha, as you already know, is not the mask. It is the place where the mask burns. After Saturn maturity, after repeated karmic cycles, after marriage exposes emotional nakedness, the Navamsha takes over quietly but completely. You may still look the same to the world, but inside, something has shifted permanently. And Scorpio Navamsha is where that shift feels like death and rebirth, again and again. If Libra Navamsha taught you balance with another, Scorpio Navamsha teaches you intimacy with reality. Not surface intimacy, not polite connection, but the kind that sees everything: fear, desire, control, obsession, trauma, loyalty, betrayal, power, and refuses to look away. Scorpio Navamsha matures late because it requires emotional courage. After 30, and very strongly after marriage, planets placed here begin to reveal a deep internal truth. You cannot remain shallow and survive. This is the Navamsha where the soul learns that transformation is not optional. Let's walk slowly through the planets. Not as concepts, but as lived inner experiences. When the sun enters Scorpio Navamsha, your identity undergoes repeated internal deaths after 30. You no longer know who you are in simple terms. Do you notice phases where your old self feels completely obsolete? Where ambition shifts from recognition to control over your inner world? You begin needing power over yourself more than approval from others. Marriage becomes a mirror of ego death. Either it transforms you, or it exposes your deepest insecurities. If this sun operates through the first house of the Navamsha, you become intense, private, and internally authoritative. Through the 10th, your career becomes tied to power, research, crisis management, or deep transformation. When the moon enters Scorpio Navamsha, emotions stop being gentle and start being total. After 30, you feel everything deeply, even when you say nothing. Do you notice emotional undercurrents that others miss? Silence becomes louder than words. In marriage, emotional truth matters more than harmony. If the moon operates through the 4th house, your inner home becomes a private emotional cave, sacred, protected, guarded. Through the 7th, marriage becomes emotionally consuming, bonding or breaking you at the deepest level. When Mars enters Scorpio Navamsha, the will becomes surgical. After 30, you don't waste energy. You act only when necessary, but when you do, it is decisive. Do you notice your anger becoming quieter, but more dangerous? This Mars does not shout, it strikes at the root. In marriage, power struggles may arise unless emotional honesty exists. If Mars operates through the 3rd house, your words carry psychological force. Through the 10th, your ambition becomes ruthless, strategic, and deeply focused. When Mercury enters Scorpio Navamsha, the mind becomes investigative. After 30, you stop accepting surface explanations. Do you find yourself reading between lines, sensing motives, dissecting conversations internally? Communication becomes sparse but penetrating. In marriage, secrets poison the bond, honesty transforms it. If Mercury operates through the 2nd house, your speech becomes intense and impactful. Through the 8th, your mind thrives in psychology, occult, healing, or crisis-oriented fields. When Jupiter enters Scorpio Navamsha, wisdom becomes transformative. After 30, you no longer seek comfort in beliefs. You seek truth through confrontation with shadow. Do you notice your spiritual path pulling you into therapy, healing, tantra, deep psychology, or occult sciences? In marriage, growth comes through shared vulnerability. If Jupiter operates through the 5th house, you guide others through emotional transformation. Through the 9th, your belief system undergoes radical evolution through lived experience. When Venus enters Scorpio Navamsha, love becomes intense, exclusive, and emotionally consuming. After 30, superficial affection feels empty. Do you crave depth, loyalty, and emotional merging? In marriage, trust becomes everything. Betrayal cuts deep, but devotion is absolute. If Venus operates through the 7th house, partnership becomes a life-altering bond. Through the fourth, love expresses itself through emotional protection and deep attachment to home and family. When Saturn enters Scorpio Navamsha, karmic weight intensifies. After 30, you are forced to confront fears you avoided earlier. Do you notice life pushing you into emotional endurance? Marriage here tests commitment through crisis, loss, or transformation. If Saturn operates through the sixth house, you become resilient in adversity. Through the 10th, authority is earned through surviving intense professional challenges. When Rahu enters Scorpio Navamsha, obsession becomes the engine of growth. After 30, desires become intense and focused, sometimes overwhelming. Do you feel pulled toward taboo subjects, power dynamics, secrecy, or deep emotional bonds? Marriage can feel karmically unavoidable. If Rahu operates through the first house, identity becomes magnetic and transformative. Through the 10th, ambition gravitates toward power, influence, and hidden authority. When Ketu enters Scorpio Navamsha, detachment from emotional drama begins, but only after experiencing it fully. After 30, you may withdraw from intensity that once defined you. Do you notice periods of emotional isolation, inner silence, or spiritual withdrawal? In marriage, you need space for inner processing. If Ketu operates through the fifth house, creativity becomes inward and cathartic. Through the 8th, you gain deep spiritual insight through letting go of fear. Scorpio Navamsha ultimately asks you the most confronting question of all. Once Saturn has matured you and marriage has stripped you bare, are you willing to face yourself completely, without denial, without masks, without escape? Because this Navamsha does not reward avoidance. It rewards courage. It rewards honesty. It rewards those who choose transformation over comfort. And when you accept that path, something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing loss. You stop fearing endings. You stop fearing depth. You become powerful, not because you control others, but because you understand yourself. I shall see you in the next Navamsha. Meanwhile, you take very good care of yourself today.